Alright, let's get back into some BioShock on Survivor difficulty. And we're still in Neptune's Bounty. God, I don't even think I've taken out a Big Daddy on this level yet. But I think, yeah, actually, I think we're starting to wrap this level up, so...
The death penalty and rapture. Council's in an uproar. Riots in the streets, they say. But this is the time for leadership. Action must be taken against the smugglers. Any contact with the surface exposes rapture to the very parasites we fled from. A few stretched necks or a small price to pay for our deals.
Huh, I need health packs for this fight, because man, he gets a lot of goddamn health. Well, let's see if we can do it. Ugh. Reloading. Oop. Oh, I'm out? Fuck. No. Woo. Aw, sorry, girl. I think I'm trying to be a good guy in this run, so we're gonna rescue you, don't worry.
No! 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 No!
You have shown kindness to my little one, but are you really a friend to us? Regardless, a little one brings you a gift to demonstrate our appreciation.
Good. Otherwise, I'll start harvesting those slugs right out of them.
Oh, I'm ready for dream time, Mr. Bubbles.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go see what's his name again. Guy who gives you the grenade launcher. Okay.
Atlas, Ryan,
1 second.
Fontaine, all the same. All with their thumb on me.
Okay. You're gonna have to go after that later. Oh, what? A ladder? Oh, can I even go up this thing? No, it's not a proper ladder. No. Oh shit, I gotta take him out too, but I can't, man. I don't have the ammo for it now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not bad.
The death penalty and rapture. Council's in an uproar. Riots in the streets, they say. But this is the time for leadership. Action must be taken against the smugglers. Any contact with the surface exposes rapture to the very parasites we fled from. We've stretched necks for a small price to pay for our deals.
Oh.
Everything's safe now, Mr. Bubbles. Hurry! Hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
Hey, they sent you, didn't they?
The Little Sisters Orphanage. In troubled times, give your little girl the life that she deserves. Boarding and education free of charge. After all, children
Uh-huh. Uh-oh. Wow, she's got a lot of goddamn bullshit. Oh, that's a sweet one. Yeah, this is a
Cry
great
out for
plasma to
Big
have.
Daddy's help. Make him think you're a little sister. Watch as he fights to protect you.
Shit. Damn it. Oh, shit. This chick's gonna kill me.
We have turned away from your light.
Oh, god damn it. Took it to the fish. Load last save.
I heard it too.
Sweetness? Mama's here to hold you. Are you here to hurt?
You can't take it from me, Ryan!
Oh, shit. Did not mean for that. No, 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 no. Oh, I thought I owned you. Shit. Well. Okay, just buy it.
All the Baptist is in lockdown until further notice. Ryan had us install some kind of genetic device into the thing, so only Ryan and his inner circle will be able to use them without dispensation. But the boys tell me the keys are pretty unreliable. Sisters, cousins, any
Hey, I can do this by myself. A rapture reminder.
Got some proximity grenades, alright.
Cry out for Big Daddy's help. Make him think you're a
Big
little
Daddy.
sister. Watch as he fights to protect you.
I'll pick later. Where's the spider splicer? Uh-oh. Oh crap. Too bad, I was just wailing on her. Trying to get headshots, it's not really happening. Oh, come on. Don't touch me. You're gross. Whoa, wait a minute. Are you kidding me? There's no health stations around. What the... What? What? I just spent all that anti-personnel. Oh my god. Knock knock.
The warp rat didn't get himself at. You got something from me and my crew? Or are you just looking to get criticized? You set here a spell. I needs to set on some coffee. Maybe put on silverware and the like.
Okay.
Before you head into the fisheries, a word to the wise. Old Peachy seems about as straight as a dog's hind leg. You keep your eyes open.
Nobody walks into my swampy carrying the heat. Put your weapons in the pneumo, and then I'll let you in.
If that's his price, you're gonna have to pay it. But he can't very well take your plasmas away now, can he?
Okay, she's still out there because I want to. Oh, damn it. Okay. I'm committed now. Excuse me. Ugh, God, gross. Okay. I'm gonna get Neocitrin, and then we fight crazy fishman guy.
Bathyspheres in lockdown until further notice. Ryan had us install some kind of genetic device into the thing, so only Ryan and his inner circle will be able to use them without dispensation. But the boys tell me the keys are pretty unreliable. Sisters, cousins, anybody in the ballpark genetically will be able to come and go as they see fit. All the bathyspheres in lockdown until further notice. Ryan had us install some kind of genetic device into the thing, so only Ryan and his inner circle will be able to use them without dispensation. But the boys tell me the keys are pretty unreliable. Sisters, cousins, anybody in the ballpark genetically will be able to come and go as they see fit. Bathyspheres in lockdown until further notice. Ryan had us install some kind of genetic device into the thing, so only Ryan and his inner circle will be able to use them without dispensation. But the boys tell me the keys are pretty unreliable. Sisters, cousins, anybody in the ballpark genetically will be able to come and go as they see fit.
Alright. Let's fucking fight this guy. I'm a little nervous because I have the respawn disabled, so I gotta be able to do this in one go. Oh, should I have flame with me instead? The reason I'm taking that is because I know that there's security cameras. Creatures hit by cameras and turrets. Ugh. I should have bought some plasmid slots. Fuck. But I feel like I need to take fire. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's gonna have to go down. Oh, not telekinesis. Incinerate. Because I think there's going to be ice patches in there I need to deal with. Okay. Who gets?
I guess that makes Ryan a bum, and you a...
Atlas! He was ours! Ours!
What the shit? I could electrocute that turret. What I will do though is, yeah, I gotta. Oh Christ, crikey! Whoa. Bio. Oh, I was gonna use a health kit. Fuck. Okay. So I'm not gonna worry about fire right away. Now that I know I can change it going in there. So yeah, that's what I want. Let's do it.
Says, sure thing, Mr. Fontaine. I'll hold you a spot. Ryan promised Fontaine was dust, and now here you are doing his dirty. I guess that makes Ryan a bum, and you a...
Makes me wet.
Atlas! He was ours! Ours!
Shit!
You're back to species.
Holy crap. Oh, there's a lot of them. Oh yeah, I don't have my weapons. Duh. It's been a bit of an issue. I wish I upgraded my plasma slots. That's right. I think I can do it without it.
Says, sure thing, Mr. Fontaine. I'll hold you a spot. Ryan promised Fontaine was dust, and now here you are doing his dirty. I guess that makes Ryan a bum, and you a...
Oh, I'm beating fish.
The submarine bay was only used by smugglers and thieves. More than likely, the entrance will be hidden. Better to keep the coppers off the set.
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. That's right, screw it. Oh no, but there's other rooms to check out. Yeah, let's deal with this thing. Yeah, let's take it out. Excuse me.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun! This isn't over.
Atmospheres in lockdown until further notice. Ryan had us install some kind of genetic device into the thing, so only Ryan and his inner circle will be able to use them without dispensation. But the boys tell me the keys are pretty unreliable. Sisters, cousins, anybody in the ballpark genetically will be able to come and go as they see fit.
Money. Money. I will take it. Ooh, power to the people. Oh boy.
Only make it.
Yikes. Alright, guess I'm gonna have to hack. I don't want to. Oh shit, okay, okay, that's good, that's good. Das is good, yeah. Ooh, this is fucking. Come on, give me my piece. There we go. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Hurry, hurry, rice and curry. Ta-da! Increase flow speed. Empty. Thank you. Okay, that's pretty dope. I accept it. Okay. Come back for you in a second. Oh, I think that's the way to go. Alright. What was I bitching about earlier? I think putting up my grenade launcher damage. Maybe the shotgun. Fuck, I don't know. I think the shock, that's kind of what I'm using the most. Yeah. Alright, Shotty's getting it. Okay.
You can't quit, Fontaine. Fight. Hey, fuck Fontaine. You don't fuck Fontaine. Fontaine fucks you.
Love the ghost scenes. Looks like we've got director's commentary. You guys ready for a film? I think these things are usually like 10 minutes or so at the max.
One of the biggest challenges Irrational faced when developing BioShock was figuring out a way to retain the feeling of a deep RPG while making the game accessible to a broader console audience. Ultimately, the team succeeded in creating an intricate system of weapon and character upgrades that gave the player choice and customization while keeping the gameplay fast, lean, and engaging.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. This could be a quick one. No, looks like we're going in. Okay, perfect.
One of the hallmarks of BioShock, to me at least, was that it really blended RPG and sort of first-person action game together in a way that, is sort of standard today, but a decade ago was really pretty revolutionary. And I know for the team, I think at some point it became clear that you wanted this to work on consoles, not on PC, right?
Well, both, yeah.
Yeah. But so the idea of, doing a console game and a PC game, and doing something that sort of felt like a shooter but had much more depth. And I know in some of the early design docs you talked about sort of creating an FPS plus versus an RPG light. What was the difference in your mind between those two?
I think for us, the big difference between System Shock and BioShock ended up being that System Shock was more about your character growth and BioShock was more about the environment. Because with System Shock, we really didn't have System Shock 2. We didn't really have either our team to make enough assets or the visual power to sort of make a really convincing environment. But as we started working on BioShock, the art team was so strong that the ability to tell a story within the environment became the most important thing about the game. And that was sort of not something we thought right at the beginning. That was not really a concept we had. But as we started building things, we could realize that the visual world was the star of this thing. The Rapture was really the star of this thing. And telling the story outside of cutscenes, telling it in the world, so the gamer could discover the story rather than us telling him the story, telling him or her the story. And it was still very much for the time, I think for the time, quite different than what you had seen in terms of there wasn't a lot of growth in shooters. So It was still, I think, for the time, very, very revolutionary. But I think System Shock 2 was even more ahead of its time in terms of that growth thing, because we defocused a little bit. Primarily, part of it was just figuring out how to do that all on a console controller was very tricky.
I remember even the early demos, and people you see a plasma, you see like a upgraded weapon, people are like, oh, I've never seen that before in a shooter. And that was, when you were coming out of the sort of, the Quake, Doom, Half-Life, where it's like you have, 8 weapons on the keyboard, and you sort of knew what they were, and they weren't going to change. Yeah. Sean, was that something that, from a sort of creative standpoint, was it always clear that that was something you guys wanted to do, or it evolved over time because you wanted to have more depth in the game?
I mean, it certainly evolved over time, and each upgrade path was slightly had its own unique challenges. Like certainly upgrading the weapons, you had to design a base weapon that didn't feel like crap, still felt like something that you wanted to use, but then the ability to add the upgrades to that, and each of the upgrades can come in any order, so you have to be aware that this, parts A, B, and C could come in at any different time to upgrade the weapon. In a first-person shooter, that's your star. That's the thing that you're seeing all the time. When it comes to other things, plasmids, things that are,
Tonics.
Tonics, yes, sorry. It's been a while.
Come on, Sean.
I know, it's 10 years. Those things were more offloaded to machines that you would then have to interact with, so you're not carrying the inventory around with you. But each of these decisions on how we're going to upgrade the player, it wasn't like a mouse and keyboard, okay, we can just use the mouse and you have all these buttons at your disposal.
You could arbitrarily point at a part of the screen really easily, which you could do in System Shock 2.
Yeah, so we certainly, learned trial by fire when we were trying to adapt these things to the console at the time.
Yeah, and like having different ammo types and stuff like that. Like we went through numerous iterations of the interface to make it. Like we had the first times we sort of put the interface into play. It was very obtuse and very tricky to get your head around, and we just kept working on it and working on it and working on it because you want to feel like second nature. But we spent a lot of time on that.
What motivated the idea of having so much choice in the way you could sort of play through this game? What was it to give the player a better sense of authorship over the experience, or what was driving that?
I've always liked the idea of giving the player a lot of agency in terms of their play style and experimenting with the play style and trying different things and seeing what worked and didn't work and interacting with the environment. The notion that it's sort of a playground that you get to play around with and imprint your own desire on was great, because I think we were more skeptical about being able to do that with story at the time. In fact, so much to the point where that became almost like a joke. That becomes the meta joke of the game of how little agency you have in your story. But agency in terms of how you play the experience and how you load out your weapons and how you interact with the environment, as compared to most shooters at the time, where basically like you can shoot them with the shotgun or shoot them with the the pistol. That was really important to us. So we spent a lot of time trying to make the world react in a way that you would expect and hope it to react when you tried something.
Right. And some of those system or decisions we made about systems fed back into the narrative, like locking Adam behind Big Daddy and the little sister. Like, you can't get Adam unless you deal with the Big Daddy, which then becomes a roving boss fight, which then becomes another system that I don't know if we planned that from the start or was one of those happy, like, serendipity, like, oh, this decision that we made about putting Adam behind the Big Daddy totally works because now we have a different type of boss fight that you hadn't really seen in other games.
Actually, it was the other way, because what happened was originally there was no concept of Adam, and Big Daddy just had money and other treasure on them, like every other splicer. Yeah. And they were so tough, nobody would ever fight them, because why on earth would you go after that guy?
Right, go off a bunch of small splicers and get the same amount,
So we had to come up with a currency that was exclusive to them, because we knew that was where the fun was, right? But we also knew people were terrified of them, and we didn't want to fight them. Yeah. So video game development and system development is a lot like economics, right? In economics, you try to encourage certain behaviors through tax, usually through tax policy. Well, you want business growth, so you lower taxes on certain segments of the business economy, or you want to encourage, people to move into this area, so you make incentives to move in here. We had to make an incentive for players to fight the Big Daddy, and Adam became that incentive. And then once you had this Adam, then you had a new piece of narrative, which they could then incorporate back into the story.
An old tasty Adam fucking drink.
Stay away from her, or it is you who will be shot next.
Easy now, Doctor. He's just looking for a wee bit of Adam. Just enough to get by.
I'll not have him hurt my little ones.
Talk a bit about the plasmids and the vending machines and that sort of whole approach to, I guess, what is kind of a tech tree, but, and coming from PC games, used to strategy games and whatnot with very complicated ways of how you would upgrade things. I thought you guys did a really interesting approach to how you made it very accessible to a console audience. How did that evolve? Did you know the vending machines were going to be there from the get-go?
Well, we had vending machines in System Shock 2, so we were sort of lifting that, and I always thought that was a fun notion because it's a affordance that people already understand. They see a vending machine, they know immediately, oh, that's where I buy stuff, right? Yeah. And you also then have to have a shopkeep. When we talked about wanting to make things, put limitations on ourselves so things felt fully believable. Yeah. If we had a shopkeeper sitting there, you can't shoot him. He sits there, he doesn't say anything. Right. And all of a sudden he feels fake. Where a vending machine, the Circus of Values machine, can feel 100% authentic. Despite the fact that it's selling like ammo and stuff like that, which is,
But in an objectivist society where you don't have rules and regulations on that type of thing, it feeds back into the narrative.
But you don't then break the fiction at all by having these characters who sort of don't really live and breathe in the world. So the vending machines became an important part of that. But we still want to give them character, and hence and so that clown image came from a piece of, that image is actually from like a fruit container or something from like the 1940s. Okay. And so we had a book of like royalty-free images, and I saw that image, and I'm like, let's put that clown on it, and we'll call it Circus of Values. And then, we wrote some lines for it, decided he'd be this sort of asshole clown, and then we hired the best actor in the world to play that part. That was me. My biggest Avengers, I didn't cost anything.
I didn't know you were really.
I was a clown.
Yeah,
I was a clown.
I hear it in my head every day.
My wife hates that voice. She hates that voice.
You can give us a little of it right here.
Welcome to the Circus of Values. She does not allow me to do that, so I'll do it outside of the house. Okay. But it allowed us to have something that felt very rich and very real while being very limited at the same time.
And also, the plasmids and sort of the motif of sort of the videos and how you explain sort of what a plasmid was, that was a really fun way, I thought, to sort of explain that. Sean, how did you guys evolve that? Because it was a very artistic approach.
I think those came on pretty late, too, because we were developing all these systems, and you make the assumptions because you're dealing with them every day, that the player who gets this game is going to understand what these systems are. And we always joke that you can't ship a developer with a game, or you can't expect somebody to have a README file for all of these things. Nobody's understanding what these plasmids are or how to use them. How do we present these to the audience in such a way that they're going to understand what it is fictionally and what it is functionally? Because Rob Waters did a lot of the animations on those, and we sit down and we write out like a little 30-second commercial of what this thing is. And again, because going back to the narrative, this is what would happen in Rapture. People are trying to sell these things, so they would come out with commercials to explain why you need this. Using that as your framework, you can then come up with all of these little gags that people will remember, that have a little personality to them. But I think ultimately in the end weren't that expensive to create, because they're cheap.
I think that one of the most important things about it is we didn't want them to be long, and we didn't have a lot of budget for the art, so we have like a couple of frames of animation in them essentially. And so we had to figure out, how do we message how this thing works in like that. And that's what marketing is, right? It's how do you message how something works. And marketing and tutorializing are very similar things, right? You're trying to get a message across in a very brief period of time in a very snappy fashion. And I think that one of the things that I always felt about games is that tutorials are sort of death. And because they're usually like, you go into a scene and there's like a shooting range or something like that, and
narratively they never really make sense either.
And they're so boring. And so we always try to put a big burden on ourselves of how do we train people while not letting them know they're being trained, and brevity is really important to that. So we had a bunch of art constraints on that, which also led to a bunch of writing constraints. And so those things were like, I don't even know if they were 30 seconds.
Yeah,
they were
like
really short. Yeah, like 15 seconds long. We had to explain a whole plasmid in that period of time. And I think that was a good exercise, because it also made the game, it forced us to be concise and to really explain what this thing was like that.
Throw objects at foes. You can even catch grenades and throw them back.
Oh wow, man, I love these little clips. Are just awesome for the remastered. Yeah, it's great. It's great seeing these guys, just sit around and yak for it for a decent amount of time and give a little insight, especially into the development of System Shock 2 and how that was received. Because, oh man, I was only like, probably like 13, 14 when that came out. And my good friend Jeremy showed me that, and man, just loved it. It's a game that I can just, to this day, can always sit down and play all the way through, no problem. Okay. Yeah, we're going this way. Excuse me.
You got it. Should be smooth sailing from here. I'll meet you up ahead.
Save your family, Atlas. I'm coming. Oh, that's good, Neocitrin. Lordy, lordy. Flashbacks. My made-up family.
I can't get in. I need you for that. My family can't be more than 100 yards away.
Yeah, that's all fine. Oh boy. Hey, no. Ugh.
We all come down here. Figured we'd all be part of Ryan's great chain. Turns out Ryan's chain is made of gold, and ours are the sort with the big iron ball around your ankle. He's up in Fort Frolic banging fashion models. We're down in this dump yanking guts out of fish. Fontaine's promising something better. He's like one of us, you know? Like he's worked a day in his life. He says meet him at his fish packing joint at 11. I'll go, bring a couple of guys. Hey, it's not like things could get a lot worse.
Oh man, my guy's drinking a lot. Jeez. Well, I guess they're smuggling booze through here.
Hit the switch up there in the control booth and let me in. I think it's time to shake hands and get acquainted.
Oh, is Atlas out there? No.
You've had your fun, but enough is enough. If you press that button, you'll learn what it means to truly be my enemy.
Okay, gotta quit drinking. That's not helping me. Whoa. Uh-oh.
You blow up fuse up there! Can't see a damn thing in that booth! Give me a tick and I'll get you out of there! Moira! Can you hear me in there, darling?
Atlas.
So dark. If only your friend could look up and see. Maybe. If only you could do something. Anything. Except just stand here and watch it.
They're everywhere! I can't hold them! Got to fall back! Get me family out and we'll regroup as soon as we can!
Who's there?
Is that wrong? I'm sorry. Oh. Shit. Taking damage hard. Whoa. Spider slicer. Spider slicer. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's just starting up again. Oh, okay, shit. That's right.
You blow up fuse up there! Can't see a damn thing in that booth! Give me a tick and I'll get you out of there! Moira! Can you hear me in there, darling?
So dark. If only your friend could look up and see. Maybe. If only you could do something. Anything. Except just stand here and watch it.
Splicers.
They're everywhere! I can't hold them! Got to fall back! Get me family out and we'll regroup as soon as we can!
just gonna have to book it. Jesus.
They're everywhere! I can't hold them, just to fall back! Get me family out, and we'll regroup as soon as we can! Get out if you can! Get out and we'll regroup!
Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Get off me!
Then you try to sneak out like a thief. You're no CIA spook. Who are you? Why have you come here? There's two ways to deal with a mystery. Uncover it, or eliminate it.
Get out! Get out and get to Arcadia! Jesus Christ!
No, it's so sad. Okay, Arcadia, by far my favorite, my favorite level in the series. Moira.
Patrick!
Oh, Patrick.
Ain't that just like Ryan? Wait until we're almost out, then he pulls the string. We'll find the bastard. We'll find him, and we'll tear his heart out.
I came to this place to build the impossible. You came to rob what you could never build. A hum gaping at the gates of Rome. Even the air you breathe is sponged out. Well, breathe deep. So later you might remember the taste.
You get to the bathysphere in the rolling hills. That'll take you straight to the devil himself. And then all debts will be paid in full.
We all come down here. Figured we all be part of Ryan's great chain. Turns out Ryan's chain is made of gold, and ours are the sort with the big iron ball around your ankle. He's up in Fort Frolic banging fashion models. We're down in this dump yanking guts out of fish. Fontaine's promising something better. He's like one of us, you know? Like he's worked a day in his life. He says meet him at his fish packing joint at 11. I'll go, bring a couple of guys. Hey, it's not like things could get a lot worse.
Seems like some poor blighters have started seeing ghosts.
McDonough.
Ghosts? Ryan tells me it's a side effect of this plasmid business. One poor soul's memory is getting passed on to another through genetic sampling. Leaks, lunatics, rebellion, and now bleeding ghosts. Ain't life in Ratchet grand?
Pretty good loot.
Hey, can you help me, man? Can you help me out?
Let's see, I gotta turn off some lights here.
Oh, Jesus, God, somebody help!
Oh my god, this game is spooky. Oh yeah, I'll help you out, dude. Actually, I don't have any. Barely have any.
Somebody there?
Them Houdinis. Me likey. Hello. Jeez. Oh god. There we go. Ooh, that guy was deadly. Oh shit. Okay.
Today, Arcadia was closed off to all but paying customers. The man hires me to build a forest at the bottom of the ocean and then turns a walk in the woods into a luxury. Ryan asked, should a farmer not be able to sell his food? Is a potter
Should a
not
farmer
entitled
not be
to
able?
profit from his pots? I started to argue with the man, and then I remembered who signed my checks. The only thing worse than a hypocrite is an unemployed one.
Amen. Yeah.
You better come out. I just want to put the artery.
Ooh. Oh man, this guy. Shit. Man, this guy. This guy. Ugh. Move it, lady. No. I have no Eve. dead.
They talk, but in the end they've got nothing to offer society. Just more mouth.
Alright, one more go. Then I gotta call it night. Oh, I'm back here? God damn it. Oh well. Oh, such a cool map.
Seems like some blighters have started seeing ghosts. Somebody there! Ghosts! Ryan tells me it's a side effect of this plasmid business. One poor sod's memory is getting passed on to another through genetic sampling. Lunatics, rebellion, and now bleeding ghosts. Ain't life in Ratchet grand?
The augmentation procedure is a success. The slugs alone could not provide enough Adam for serious work, but combined with the host, now we have something. The slug is embedded in the lining of the host's stomach, and after the host feeds, we induce regurgitation. And then we have 20-30 times yield of usable Adam. The problem now is the shortage of hosts. Fontaine says patience, Tannenbaum. Soon, the first home for little sisters will open, and that problem will be solved.
Tannenbaum, you monster.
What a night I got lined up. Everything's ready. Flowers, bottle of wine, even 2 tickets to the tea garden. Nothing gets the Bettys in the mood like nighttime in Arcadia. Now I just gotta stop by the Thrifty Care to pick up a med hypo, just to be safe. Word is, this ain't Angelina's first visit to the tea garden.
Let's get this asshole.
Hello.
I should have took a photo. Oh well. Dead body.
I won't hurt you. I just want to see you inside.
I want my ranch. Where the hell's my ranch? Don't give it to me. Oh, my wrench is 2? What the hell? Has this game always been like that? Wrench is 2? Pistol is 1? No way. Something's gimped about that. Maybe it was because I picked up a pistol when I was fighting the boss. at Fontaine's Fisheries.
Today, Arcadia was closed off to all but paying customers. The man hires me to build a forest at the bottom of the ocean and then turns a walk in the woods into a luxury. Ryan asked, should a farmer not be able to sell his food? Is a potter not entitled to a profit from his pots? I started to argue with the man, and then I remembered who signed my checks. The only thing worse than a hypocrite is an unemployed one.
Yeah, we're done with all back there. Did the Houdini bullshit. Oh god.
Today, Arcadia was closed off to all but paying customers. The man hires me to build a forest at the bottom of the ocean and then turns a walk in the woods into a luxury. Ryan asked, should a farmer not be able to sell his food? Is a potter not entitled to a profit from his pots? I started to argue with the man, and then I remembered who signed my checks. The only thing worse than a hypocrite is an unemployed one.
Stay down. Ah, shit, I'm out of Eve again. Can I blow it up? Nope. I don't want to have to use my electric buck on a turret. Gonna try and run for it. Ow.
What the hell?
Stop it. There we go. Just buy the fucking thing. Can't even be bothered. I'm too tired to hack. to connect tubes. Ow, shit. Nice.
Today, Arcadia was closed off to all but paying customers. The man hires me to build a forest at the bottom of the ocean and then turns a walk in the woods into a luxury. Ryan asked, should a farmer not be able to sell his food? Is a potter not entitled to a profit from his pots? I started to argue with the man, and then I remembered who signed my checks. The only thing worse than a hypocrite is an unemployed one.
Alright, that's enough. Time to crash out.